Hey everyone, welcome back to Metanoia. My name is Carrie Jane, and today we're going to be talking about the One Life Path number as a child. If you haven't already done so, please stop what you're doing and watch my video on the Children of Gaia, as well as my video on how to interpret the life path number, which is a video I made for my original life path series that I still think could be applicable to what we're going to be talking about today. So be sure to check that out. And also I want to make a quick note that I may or may not be posting a video at the end of this series that kind of sums everything up, that kind of is applicable to all the life path numbers as children. And I don't know whether I'm going to do that or not yet, because in the past I have decided to kind of make a cap video and I've also decided not to in certain situations, and I kind of regret the times that I didn't, because there's always more that needs to be elaborated on based on what I said that gives more context, gives an added dimension of understanding to the bigger picture of this, which ultimately helps us, understand things on a smaller level, an individual level. So I'm just going to leave that door open. And let you know that I'm leaving that door open, just so that you can watch it if I decide to post that. And also, I just wanted to make it known, because I think a lot of people, understandably, just decide to pay attention to the videos that I post that pertains specifically to them, whatever it is they want to focus on, which I get, but just stay vigilant. Just stay vigilant is what I'm trying to say, and if I post it, please watch it. I'm gonna leave it at that and move on before I make this intro too long. So let's talk about the One Life Path number as a child. Quickly going over some key thing to keep in mind about the One Life Path child. The mailman is coming, so that's what that noise is. Okay. But the core attribute to remember about the One Life Path is that they're all about ambition. Ambition is kind of like their main thread. And so for every human being, that's going to look like something different, but that is the core attribute there. And in the early stages of life, this will obviously look different for every single person, and this is applicable to every single life path as well for their own core attribute. I think that one of the most common ways, I should say, that I've seen this expressed in a One Life Path child is that they have a sort of quick wit, a sort of sharp wit, a curiosity, and a theme of exploration. It is very common for a One Life Path at a very young age to have many interests. And maybe even when you ask them what they want to be when they're older, they have many answers, or it changes every month. And of course, this is kind of like every kid to an extent, but I think that, in my experience at least, it has been the most true for the One Life Path. And my advice is to leave this door open for them. Give them the means to explore all those interests, even if there's too many at a young age. Eventually, they will pick and choose what means most to them. They will eventually develop a focus, but they're not going to be able to develop a focus if they don't know what they're good at, what they're not good at, or what they like the most and what they dislike the most. And like I said, this is kind of true for every single One Life Path, this is kind of true for every single life path, every single child to an extent, but I think this is most important for the one because their mission statement, so to speak, their mission is so broad, which is just to be successful at whatever it is in life that they decide to choose. But how can you be successful if you don't have a focus? And maybe if what you're chasing is just pure success and nothing specific enough where you can, put all your eggs in not put all your eggs in one basket but put all your energy into and develop a system, develop a process to whatever interests them, they're not going to be able to kind of embark on that advanced development stage without having explored all these things and said, no, I'm not interested in that. No, I'm not interested in that. No, I'm not interested in that. And yeah, I've seen a lot of One Life Path children who was denied, unfortunately, that exploration phase for whatever reason. Their parents decided what they should be doing. They didn't give them the freedom to decide, hey, I would really be interested in swimming and Girl Scouts and riding club, not giving them the choice to explore certain things. And so by forcing them down one path, they're very confused later in life because they don't know what they like, they don't know what they're good at, and they have this innate desire to be the best, to be very successful, to, be potentially in a sort of an advanced level of understanding, whether that's getting your PhD or becoming a manager of a company, whatever that is. They might have that desire, but then they have nowhere to put it. They don't know how to go about doing that. So just to sum that up, let your kids explore what they want to explore. Even if it's the arts, I think that's, what kids are deprived the most of these days, whether it be in the household, where they're in a household that thinks that's meaningless, or they're at school, which unfortunately thinks that's meaningless now because we've really shoved standardized testing down everyone's throats, and we think that's a mean of learning and understanding when it's not. And there's so many passionate teachers out there and so many talented teachers out there who, their gift has been squandered because they can't share it with kids now because they have to teach them for a test. That's something that will negatively affect all children, but this is how this would negatively affect a One Life Path who potentially could be very good at music or could be really good at whatever, but for whatever reason, they just didn't have the environment that offered that opportunity to them. So yeah, before I ramble on about that, I'm going to cap it off there, move on to the next thing. I think that's another piece of advice that I would like to share with you is that you should acknowledge their good habits, and you should do that for every kid, but as I'm just going to be saying apparently this entire video, but I think positive reinforcement works the best for One Life Path numbers. And I think that's because if they are a true One Life Path, if they are actually in an early stage of their life and they're expressing that, it's possible that they are aware of their desire to succeed. Maybe they are really into sports and they're competitive, or maybe they're even competitive at school, they like the game of it. Maybe they're that kind of child, and if you're an overbearing parent who is just not really acknowledging this kid's ambition in that way and instead complaining about them doing their homework all the time and or even worse, telling them to do something that they were already going to do, it backfires, I think, especially for the One Life Path, because the One Life Path might already have this innate ambition. They might already have this desire to do what they have to do to get to where they want to be. And by you kind of showing that, doing this, what I just said, where you're instead constantly being overbearing and over their shoulders and telling them what to do, the One Life Path as a child will think, this person doesn't trust me. This person doesn't trust that I know what I'm doing, that I'm going to do what I need to do. And will backfire. That will not lead to a good place for either person. When you can't trust a person to have them trust that you're doing your best right now, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't make you want to do what you were going to do in the first place, which was do your homework and, do whatever you need to do to get to where you want to be. So positive reinforcement for the one life path is, I think, the way to go. By instead being like, hey, I noticed that you did this awesome thing today, and this is why I think that's awesome, and I'm proud of you. That will motivate them to do their homework, to continue fostering like this good habit of whatever that you're trying to instill in them, whatever good habit that is there. It will come best from just acknowledging already what they've done as something that's good, you know? So I don't think I have to go into that much deeper. I think it's really obvious why that would work out. And last but not least, I would like to wrap up the One Life Path Child by explaining that this is step 1, technically. We're at the first stage of the 1 through 9 spiral, or journey, or however you want to look at it, the 1 through 9 system of numerology. And so it's kind of like a sort of clean slate energy that we have going on here, okay? And with that, I think, comes a level of innocence. And every child is innocent, and I'm going to be talking about a particular kind of innocence that the 2 life path child has, which is very pure, in the next video. But, I mean, think about what it's like being on step 1 of something. Of course you're ambitious. Of course you want to know all the things. Of course you want to see all the things, or do all the things maybe, or just something to that effect. Of course you want to explore multiple paths, and because it's almost like everything's new and exciting. And so foster that in your one life path child, because that's such a beautiful thing. And please don't use this as an ego pursuit, because there's a lot of 9 life path numbers out there who are commenting on my 9 life path video in an air of they're better than everyone else. And I'm just gonna take that and say that something I've said before on my channel, and that's that the life path numbers 1 through 9 are not measured in quantity, they're measured in quality. So just because you're at a certain step in this vast landscape of metanoia doesn't mean that you're better or worse than another person. So being a one life path doesn't mean that you're not an evolved person, as much as a lot of 9 life paths would like us to believe, I think, to make themselves feel better about themselves. So I think that's an important thing to say as well, because, spirituality has a lot of ego pursuit bullshit in it right now, and I'm not okay with it, and it's not helping us grow as a community or as individuals. But like I said before, also, if you want to understand the one life path child's on a deeper level, meditate on what it would be like to be on step 1. You know, as a human being, when you have amnesia and you forget everything, and you're put into the world, and it's like the world is your oyster and anything can happen. How can you apply that to your child with his or her own unique set of circumstances and own unique quirks and personalities and interests and everything, you know? That has to be done by you. I can't do that for you. So thank you all so much for watching. As always, if you would like a reading with me, please check out the links in the description, and please let me know if you have any questions about that. Stay tuned for next week on the 2 life path child. I highly recommend watching all of these, because even if you're, watching this to gain something from yourself and your own personal life, you might encounter some other things in your personal life as well. You might encounter other, children with certain life path numbers, or maybe your family members as children. You would like to understand more about them, even if it doesn't specifically apply to you. No matter what I post on this channel, I highly recommend checking it out anyway. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe so that those who are meant to find my channel can. I love you all so very much. I hope you're having a lovely week, and I'll see you all soon. Take care.